Welcome back to Debunk Factory. Last week we destroyed Nostradamus and his spectacularly vague quatrains, but apparently the internet wasn't satisfied with just one prophetic fraud. So today, we're diving into the legend of Baba Vanga, the blind Bulgarian mystic who supposedly predicted everything from 9/11 to Brexit, from Obama's presidency to the 2004 tsunami, and according to the latest viral posts, she's even got hot takes about 2025 being the year the world ends. But here's the plot twist that'll make your head spin faster than a conspiracy theorist's logic. What if I told you that this 85% accurate prophet never actually wrote down a single prediction, and most of her famous prophecies were invented by internet clickbait farmers decades after she died? Now, before you click away thinking, "Great, another skeptic ruining my doomsday prep plans," hold up, because what we're about to uncover is way more fascinating than any apocalypse prediction. We're going to explore how a humble Bulgarian woman became the internet's favorite fortune teller, why her predictions keep going viral on social media, and most importantly, how the complete absence of written records somehow made her more credible, not less. So grab your crystal ball, dim the lights for that mystical atmosphere, and let's dive into the wild world of retrofitted prophecies, Cold War folklore, and why being dead might be the secret to becoming the world's most accurate psychic. Trust me, by the end of this video, you'll understand why Baba Vanga is basically the Wikipedia of prophets. Anyone can edit her predictions. Meet your prophet, the grandmother from Bulgaria. So, who was this Baba Vanga? Born Vangelia Pandeva Gushtarova in 1911, she became known as Baba Vanga, literally Grandmother Vanga in Bulgarian. She was blinded during a tornado in her youth because apparently even tornadoes were more dramatic in the early 1900s, and spent most of her life in the Rupit area of Bulgaria, where she gained a reputation as a healer and clairvoyant. Now here's where it gets interesting. During the Cold War, she became famous throughout Eastern Europe for her supposed psychic abilities. People would travel hundreds of miles to visit this blind woman in a small Bulgarian village, hoping she could predict their future or help them find lost objects. But here's the kicker that nobody talks about. There are no written records of Baba Vanga's predictions, so it is impossible to know what prophecies she actually made before her death in 1996. That's right, folks. The woman famous for predicting the future apparently never bothered to write any of it down. It's like being a chef who never writes recipes but somehow gets credit for every delicious meal made afterward. The art of retroactive prophecy. Here's how the Baba Vanga prediction industry works. Step 1. Something happens. Step 2. Someone claims Baba Vanga predicted this. Step 3. It goes viral. Step 4. Becomes established fact. It's like the prophecy version of Wikipedia, except instead of citation needed, it's source. Trust me, bro. Since there are no written records, you can literally claim she predicted anything. I could say Baba Vanga predicted someone would debunk her on YouTube, and there's no way to prove she didn't. The greatest hits. Let's examine the evidence now. Let's look at her supposed greatest hits, the predictions that made her internet famous. 9/11. Prediction. The claim goes that she predicted 2 steel birds would crash into American brethren and bring down Twin Towers. Sounds impressive, right? Except this prediction mysteriously appeared on the internet after September 11, 2001. It's like saying I predicted yesterday's lottery numbers. Technically possible, but the timing is a bit suspicious. Plus, the language doesn't match how Baba Vanga reportedly spoke. She was a simple Bulgarian peasant woman, not a poet writing metaphorical riddles about steel birds. It's like claiming your grandmother predicted smartphones by saying magical glowing rectangles will steal souls from the youth. She supposedly predicted America would have a black president who would be the last American president. Obama wasn't the last president, Trump and Biden happened, so this is either spectacularly wrong or we're still waiting. Either way, not exactly a slam dunk. Brexit prediction. Europe would cease to exist by a certain year. Brexit happened, but Europe still exists. Britain just left the EU. That's like predicting someone will cease to exist when they move apartments. The 2004 tsunami. Claims circulated that she predicted a great wave would devastate Asia. But here's the thing, tsunamis hit Asia regularly throughout history. Predicting that a coastal region prone to tsunamis will eventually experience a tsunami is like predicting that it will rain in London. Not exactly mystical insight. Here's where things get really wild. Despite claims that Baba Vanga's predictions have been 85% accurate, there is no real evidence that any of these prophecies are real. This 85% accuracy rate gets thrown around the internet like it's an established fact, but nobody can explain how this percentage was calculated or by whom. Think about it logically. How do you calculate an accuracy rate when there are no written predictions to verify? It's like claiming someone got 85% on a test that was never written, graded by a teacher who doesn't exist, in a subject that was never taught. The methodology seems to be, something happens in the world. Find a way to connect it to Bulgaria or Eastern Europe. Claim Baba Vanga predicted it. Add it to the accurate predictions list. Ignore all the claims that didn't come true. Calculate 85% accuracy by using creative math. She wasn't someone who kept diaries or recorded her prophecies, experts note. There are almost no written records of what she really said, making it impossible to verify these claims. This is absolutely crucial. We're dealing with a prophet who never wrote anything down, never published any predictions, and died before the internet existed. Every single Baba Vanga prediction you see online was recorded by someone else, often decades after she supposedly made the prediction. It's like playing the world's longest game of telephone, except half the people in the chain are trying to get clicks on their YouTube videos. By the time we get to the final message, we might as well be listening to someone's fever dream about the future. The Cold War context. Baba Vanga became famous during the Cold War, when information was controlled. People were desperate for hope, and mysticism filled gaps left by restricted religion. She became a symbol of authentic Balkan wisdom versus Western rationalism, not just a psychic, but a cultural icon. The 2025 apocalypse prediction. Let's talk about the latest viral sensation. Baba Vanga has reportedly revealed that the end times will commence in 2025. Specifically that the start of our destruction will begin next year with a conflict in Europe that will devastate the continent's population. First of all, she died in 1996, so she reportedly revealed this through some pretty impressive beyond-the-grave communication. Second, this prediction conveniently appeared right around the time people were looking for new doomsday content after 2012 didn't pan out. The rumor that Baba Vanga predicted that the end times will commence in 2025 circulated online in October 2024. So we're supposed to believe that a prediction made by someone who died 28 years ago just happened to surface right when social media needed fresh apocalypse content? That's either incredible timing or incredible marketing. The psychology of believing in Baba Vanga. Why do people keep believing? Several factors. The authority of suffering. We associate her blindness and difficult life with wisdom and spiritual insight. The mystique of death. Dead prophets can't contradict new predictions attributed to them. The exotic appeal. A blind Bulgarian mystic feels more authentic than local fortune tellers. The confirmation bias trap. Conflict in Europe could mean anything from trade disputes to actual war to a heated Eurovision competition. The modern Baba Vanga industry. The internet has turned her into a prophetic content machine. Every January brings predictions for the year articles. Every major event gets linked to her prophecies. And news outlets publish clickbait because mystic predictions perform well. She's more popular dead than alive, the Elvis of fortune telling. The failed predictions nobody talks about. Let's talk about the predictions that spectacularly failed, because somehow these never go viral. One of the debunked predictions attributed to Baba Vanga is the claim that World War III would begin in 2010. Contrary to her prophecy, the world did not witness a global conflict of such magnitude in that year. She also supposedly predicted that Europe would be empty by 2025. Oops, still got a few months left on that one. That humans would discover a new energy source in 2018, still waiting, and that time travel would be possible by 2304. I'll let you know in 280 years. But here's the thing. Failed predictions just disappear from the narrative. It's like a magician's trick where you only remember the successful card guesses and forget all the times they got it wrong. The scientific method versus prophetic claims. Let's apply some basic scientific thinking to Baba Vanga's predictions. Testability. Can the predictions be tested? No, because they're either too vague or have no specific timeline. Falsifiability. Can they be proven wrong? Not really, because they can always be reinterpreted to fit new events. Reproducibility. Can the predictive method be replicated? Impossible, since there's no documented method. Peer review. Are the predictions verified by independent sources? No, because there are no contemporary written records. By any scientific standard, Baba Vanga's prophecies fail every test of reliability. But that's not really the point. People aren't looking for science, they're looking for meaning, comfort, and a sense that someone, somewhere, understands what's coming next. The real legacy, what Baba Vanga actually predicted. If we're being completely honest, Baba Vanga did predict one thing with 100% accuracy. She reportedly pointed to August 11, 1996, as the day she would die, and that was indeed the case. So she got her own death date right, which is actually pretty impressive. But here's the thing. Predicting your own death when you're elderly and in poor health isn't exactly supernatural. It's more like really good self-awareness combined with medical intuition. Beyond that, her real legacy isn't prophecy. It's showing us how desperately humans want to believe in cosmic order and predictable futures. She became a mirror reflecting our anxieties about uncertainty and our desire for someone to tell us what's coming next. The Confirmation Bias Olympics, Advanced Level. The mental gymnastics required to make Baba Vanga predictions work are even more impressive than Nostradamus. At least his predictions were written down in cryptic poetry. With Baba Vanga, we're working with no written records, second-hand accounts from decades later, translations from Bulgarian through multiple languages, interpretations filtered through internet clickbait culture. It's like playing telephone through a time machine while everyone involved is trying to go viral on TikTok. The original message gets so distorted that we might as well be making up entirely new predictions. The Internet Age Effect. The internet transformed Baba Vanga from a local Bulgarian healer into a global brand. Before the internet, her reputation was limited to Eastern Europe. Now she's got websites, social media accounts, and annual prediction lists with millions of views. The internet doesn't care about verification. It cares about engagement. Mysterious Balkan mystic predicted current event is engagement gold. What about the people who met her? There are accounts from visitors who claimed she told them things she couldn't possibly know, and she was visited by Bulgarian and Soviet political elite. But good cold reading, lucky guesses, and selective memory explain a lot of seemingly impossible predictions. Plus, people traveled hundreds of miles with life savings and deep hopes. They were primed to believe and likely to remember hits while forgetting misses. So, what's the final verdict on Baba Vanga? Was she a genuine prophet or just the beneficiary of the world's most successful posthumous marketing campaign? The evidence strongly suggests that Baba Vanga was probably a skilled folk healer and counselor who helped people in her community. But the global prophet narrative is largely a creation of internet culture. As experts note, Baba Vanga's predictions have never been written down, and as such, there is no way to verify the truth behind the claim that these prophecies were actually made. But here's what's really fascinating. The Baba Vanga phenomenon tells us more about human psychology in the digital age than it does about the future. We live in an era of information overload and rapid change, where traditional authorities and institutions are questioned, but our desire for certainty and prediction remains as strong as ever. Baba Vanga fills that gap perfectly. She's exotic enough to seem authentic, dead enough to avoid contradiction, and vague enough to fit any interpretation. She's become the perfect prophet for the internet age, mysterious, unverifiable, and endlessly adaptable to current events. The real prophecy here is about human nature. We'll always be drawn to figures who promise to reveal the future, especially when that future feels uncertain. And in our connected world, we'll create global legends out of local folk heroes, turning personal testimonies into universal truths. But here's the thing that should really concern us. The complete absence of written records hasn't made people more skeptical of Baba Vanga's predictions. If anything, it's made them more believable. The less evidence there is, the more room there is for imagination and interpretation. With predictions like the end times will commence in 2025 currently going viral, we're seeing how easily misinformation spreads when it confirms our fears and biases. The Baba Vanga industry thrives on anxiety about the future, packaging our collective worries as ancient wisdom. So, the next time someone shares a Baba Vanga predicted 2025 apocalypse article on social media, remember that you're not seeing prophecy. You're seeing a masterclass in how legends are created in the digital age. The most accurate thing about Baba Vanga might be that she predicted the internet's ability to turn anyone into anything, as long as there's no evidence to contradict it.